Right before we started filming, guys, I got an email that the Browns have signed wide receiver Isaiah Bond. And he's an undrafted rookie out of Texas, 5'11", 180. This comes after he's no longer, the prosecutors aren't pursuing charges on that sexual assault case, notoriously one of the hardest crimes to prove in the court of law. What are your thoughts on the Browns adding the Texas rookie?
I put out there on Twitter that Andrew Berry, his basic philosophy is give me your accused, your alleged, your recently dropped charges, yearning to breathe free. And this is yet another one of those, Nick, this week. But this is a guy who was looked at as potentially maybe a third rounder. He's a real speedster out of Texas. Kind of reminds me a little bit, and for those older fans like myself, reminds me a little bit of Eric Metcalf. Now, hopefully we won't be running him between the tackles like Bill Belichick did back in the day. But if this guy, and it looks like with guaranteed money and everything, it looks like he's going to be on the final roster for the Cleveland Browns. He could be somebody who could help in that wide receiver room that we've talked about quite a bit here, Nick. Needs a lot of help.
Well, that's the story, right? 3-year, $3 million, fully guaranteed contract. You're looking at how this initial 53-man roster is going to take shape, and the receiver room was one to look at where you've got guys like Larvidan, who's had an awesome preseason, and Deontay Johnson, who flashed early in camp and hasn't done much since. Like, that, all those jobs are in jeopardy now because with guaranteed cash at play, I have to imagine Isaiah Bond is just about a lock to make this Browns roster. And they've struggled, in the Andrew Berry era to identify, draft, and develop that wide receiver position. They've tried with guys like David Bell, Cedric Tillman. I'm curious to see how Isaiah Bond is going to work on the field. I mean, you are a rookie. You missed all of rookie camp. You missed all of training camp pretty much. I have to imagine he'll be a game day inactive for the first couple of weeks. So I'm tampering expectations. I don't think it's going to be full steam ahead because they're going to have to get this poor kid the playbook and try to get him up to speed with how to be a football player in the National Football League before we can expect much more out of him this season,